This meeting is being held in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, NJSA 10:4-6 notice of which was sent to the record in the Star Ledger and was posted on the municipal bulletin board.
Okay, roll call, please.
Councilmember Von Rudenberg. Here. Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Sims. Here. Councilmember Pataglia. Here. Mayor LaBrus.
Here. Would everybody please rise for the flag salute? I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you for that. And before we go into the proclamation, I would like to bring our freeholder, Ms. Germaine. Would you please come up, please? I believe she has something good for the city of Hackensack.
Yes. On behalf of the freeholder and the county executive, I'm here to present a $100,000 check. You had applied for a open space, for our open space trust fund from the county. And from what I understand, this is going to be improvements for your park in regards to a new pavilion. I think you're going to have a new playground, dog park, and I'm not exactly sure if you're going to fix the basketball courts. But
Dog park's up in the air. The rest of it's going.
We're very excited to present this check, and we're committed to continue to have open space and to have our municipalities take advantage by applying for these grants. Open space is very important to us. I mean, it does improve our quality of life to all our residents, so congratulations.
Thank you so much.
And,
Absolutely.
looking
We
forward to
appreciate it.
seeing
Thank you. I wanted to do that first because I could tell.
But I barely have a voice.
I don't want to be in the picture.
Show check. Road. No.
I don't know. No, they were right. It's warm in here. Now it's warm in here. People, 4 people.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Pass it on to the rest of the freeholders.
Okay, no problem. Thank you. Exactly. I look forward to seeing you. Okay. Si quieres también te traigo. How are you?
Very good, thank you. Thanks for all this. Appreciate it.
That was a nice surprise. Thank you to the county. And we have got my reading tonight. We have 4 presentations. But one of them we have quite a few people here for, which is exciting. First one I'm going to read is Kids to Parks Day. Hackensack's been working hard on improving their parks too, so this is important. May 18, 2019 is the 9th Kids to Parks Day organized and launched by the National Park Trust, held annually on the 3rd Saturday of May. And whereas Kids to Parks Day empowers kids and encourages families to get outdoors and visit America's parks, and whereas it's important to introduce a new generation to our nation's parks, and whereas we should encourage children to lead a more active lifestyle to combat the issues of childhood obesity, diabetes, mellitus, hypertension, and hypercholesterolemia. And whereas Kids to Parks Day is open to all children and adults across the country to encourage a large and diverse group of participants, and whereas Kids to Parks Day will broaden children's appreciation for the nature and outdoors. Now therefore be it resolved that I, John P. LaBrus Jr., Mayor of the City of Hackensack, along with the members of the City Council, do hereby proclaim to participate in Kids to Parks Day. We urge residents of Hackensack to make time in May to take the children in their lives to a neighborhood, state, or national park. Very important. And one thing they left out of here, you know, and it probably leads to some of the obesity issues, is our kids today with the new technology, with what's the new one out there? Because my grandson lives on this thing. Anybody know the name of it?
Fortnite.
Fortnite. It's unbelievable. They're so addicting. I remember when we had like, what do we have?
Tetris.
Yeah, Tetris and a couple of, you played it for a half an hour, you put it down and you went and watched TV. today it's an addictive thing, and it's affected our kids so much that they're missing out on. They don't play sports. They don't go out and enjoy nature. They don't do any of the cool stuff that we did when we were younger. And it's important for us as adults to make sure they do get out and enjoy the outdoors. So that was number one. Number two, it is National Public Works Week, and we have some Public Works guys with us here tonight. So welcome, gentlemen and ladies. Whereas public works infrastructure, facilities, and services are of vital importance to our health, safety, and comfort, and whereas such facilities and services improve the quality of life for our residents and could not be provided without the dedicated efforts of Hackensack Department of Public Works. And whereas these services include emergency sewer call out, snow removal, garbage pickup, maintenance, and repairs to all city buildings and vehicles, landscaping of all city-owned parks and green spaces, repair and patching of our streets, and this is just a small sample of what you guys do. Now therefore, be it resolved that I, John P. LaBrosse Jr., Mayor of the City of Hackensack, along with the members of the City Council, do hereby proclaim May 19th through 25th, 2019 as National Public Works Week, and do hereby recognize the important role of our public works professionals, engineers, and administrators for their dedication and commitment to the City of Hackensack, residents, and local government. Gentlemen and ladies, my hands are off to you. I got to tell you, the city is looking pretty good. I don't think I can ever remember the City of Hackensack looking this good. I mean, we have some issues with streets still needing to be paved, but that's not your issue, that's ours. But what's there is being maintained, and we're doing a great job, and this council really appreciates it, and we want to keep moving forward. So you guys have issues, see that guy, all right? And see us. So, yes, why don't we can we do a group picture, all the city workers?
Andy.
Andy too. And
Get in the front, that way they can get the phone.
Oh, yeah, we'll stand back here.
stand across.
Thanks for all your hard work.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. You do a great job.
Thank you. Thank you.
How you doing, man?
Thank you. Thank you.
Which restaurant?
You let us know.
Brian, you guys can
Congratulations. Congratulations. Thank you.
Congratulations, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, fellas, everybody that's here.
Thank you,
We
guys.
appreciate all your hard work.
Tom, is everybody sitting at Tom?
That's a good looking bus.
Sure is.
Gentlemen, congratulations. Few words from Mr. Inglima. Yeah, put it in the office. Get a plaque for it.
Thanks for all your hard
Ask the
work.
clerk to put a plaque, if you don't have one.
Thanks for all your hard work. Thank you, guys. We appreciate it. Thank you.
For your hard work.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
If you guys want to leave, I understand, because
They gotta listen to Joe first. They listen.
Yeah, go ahead.
El Jefe.
You're gonna talk about the dog park now again?
I just wanted to thank the mayor and council, city manager for recognizing the DPW and the hard work that we do all year. I know probably most people didn't even know National Public Works Week existed, but it's nice to get recognized for the hard work we do. And the DPW will continue to work as hard as we have in the past. I personally, and I know Fred would like to thank the members of the DPW who actually make it work every day. It's those guys that go out there and keep the city clean and do what they need to do. I don't want to take too much of your time, so I'm going to defer this to one of the union members, Roy Bender, who would like to say a couple of words to the mayor and council.
Sure.
So, thank you.
Thank you. Roy?
Hi there. My name is Roy Bender. I'm in the maintenance shop of the DPW. Mayor LaBrosse, Deputy Mayor Sims, Deputy Mayor Canestrano, Councilman Battaglia, Councilwoman Von Rutenberg, Mr. Ehrenberg, and members of the public. Thank you for this recognition today during National Public Works Week. On behalf of the members of the Department of Public Works, I would like to affirm our continuing commitment to improving our service to the city and the residents of Hackensack. The city is growing by the day, and with it our responsibilities. As Hackensack's strongest, we are confident that we will maintain our level of excellence and that we will continue to meet and exceed all expectations of us. Whether picking up garbage, repairing sewers and streets, maintaining city vehicles, grounds, and buildings, we strive to offer the best service that we can, both now and in the future. So thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. And guys, you have our commitment in the future that we will continue to, new vehicles, maintaining vehicles, whatever we need to do. If, come to the city manager if you think, we're short somewheres and it's affecting service. I know street sweepers have been an issue, but we bought one. I know we got the sewer machine, but there's, things that can make the job work better. Just, we'll work to get that stuff for you. So we're committed to that. So thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Okay. Our next proclamation is, whereas mental health is part of overall health, and whereas 1 in 5 adults experiences a mental health problem in any given year, and 1 in 17 adults' lives with mental illness such as major depression, bipolar disorder, or schizophrenia. And whereas approximately 1/2 of chronic mental illness begins by the age of 14 and 3/4 by age 24. And whereas it is important to maintain mental health and learn the symptoms, as early identification and treatment can make a difference in successful management and recovery. And whereas public education and civic activities can encourage mental health and help improve the lives of individuals and families affected by mental illness. And whereas every person in community can make a big difference in helping end the silence and stigma that for too long has surrounded mental illness and discouraged people from getting help. And whereas the City of Hackensack is proud to be part of the Stigma-Free Initiative since 2014, and now therefore I, John P. LaBrosse Jr., Mayor of the City of Hackensack, along with members of the City Council, do hereby proclaim May 2019 as Mental Health Awareness Month to increase public understanding of the importance of mental health and to promote identification and treatment of mental illnesses. Paul, would you come up, please? Paul has been a leader in our stigma-free movement and also in mental health awareness, not just here, but throughout the whole county. He does an awful lot. He's seen everywhere. He does a tremendous amount of work. He doesn't get paid for this. It's all volunteer work. And I recommend that everybody in this room spend 10 minutes talking to Paul, because, he's had quite a life and quite an experience, but he's here to live and to talk about it. So that's a great thing. So congratulations.
We'll go stand by your sign.
Yeah.
Put in the front here and that way.
And any resident of Hackensack can join the stigma-free committee. We have a stigma-free committee for our residents. It's open to them. And if you know anybody with stress or has mental illness, then you sit there and hook them up with this program. Behind the sign. I appreciate it. Proclamation too, all right? That's it. Yeah, guys, if you want to, DPW guys, feel free to go. You don't have to stay for this rest of the evening. I got one more
Enjoy
to
the
read.
rest of your evening. Thanks so
Yep.
much for coming.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
You guys wake up early. There are people there that they there's 7, 6.
I've got. Okay, I do have one more proclamation to read. It's ironic that the person we're honoring with this proclamation is actually here at every council meeting, except this one. Very rarely is he not here. But it's, this proclamation is in honor of retired Captain Douglas Allen Lowry, and it reads, whereas the month of May is National Military Appreciation Month, and we would like to honor Captain Retired Douglas Allen Lowry, and whereas Douglas Lowry enlisted in the United States Army August 4th, 1969, and I said enlisted, right in the middle of the Vietnam War, okay? It takes a certain type of person to do that, and served 20 years in military selective services. And whereas Douglas Lowry's military education and training included Code of Conduct, Geneva Convention, CBR, and military justice, and whereas Douglas Lowry was awarded the National Defense Service and Good Conduct medals, as well as expert in sharpshooter badges, and now therefore I, John P. LaBrosse Jr., Mayor of the City of Hackensack, along with the members of the City Council, hereby extend our gratitude to Captain Retired Douglas Allen Lowry for his service to our nation. So I'd like to give him a round of applause. He'll be watching it on television. We did ask retired Captain Lowry if we should wait to do this. He said, no, do it now during the month. He'd rather be read during the month of Military Appreciation Month. So kudos to you, Doug. Great job. Thank you. So moving forward, I need a motion for the approval of the minutes for the calendar regular meeting minutes of April 9th, 2019, and April 23rd, 2019. Was I gone for one of
You're going to have
those?
to do them separate.
Okay.
So, April 9th, you were
I
absent.
had the flu. All right. So for April 9th, I need a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I abstain. And then for April 23rd, 2019, I need a motion.
Councilman Pataglia, you were absent for that one.
Offer.
All in favor?
Aye.
One abstention from Leo Battaglia. Okay? Abstain. And with that, we'll turn it over to the city manager.
Yes, good evening, Mayor and Council. This is the city manager's report for May 21st, 2019. First is the introduction of Patrice Holtman from Upper Maine Alliance. And Jason, are you going to come up? Jason, come on up. This is the budget hearing for Upper Maine Business Alliance.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Glad to be in front of you all again. We had done our presentation a month ago and had fairly summarized what our goals were for the 2019 budget, that this is a transition year, that we have a calendar full of events through the end of the year, and that we are committed to our retail strategy and assisting our merchants and property owners who are members of the Alliance in continuing to support and ensure a flourishing business community on Main Street in Hackensack. I did want to re-emphasize as well that there is no increase in the tax assessment to any of our members, and we're very proud to be continuing the high level of service we have started for 14 years. Our board is committed to making sure that the Main Street Business Alliance continues to work cooperatively with the City of Hackensack, and we stand ready to partner with you in any initiatives you feel would further continue our charter mission.
Thank you.
Mayor, you need a motion to open to the public for this.
Okay. Did Mr. Soames want to speak at all?
I'm over here in case anybody had any questions about any of the events or anything
Oh, okay.
that we're planning. I'm here to answer them.
Okay.
Jason is representing the board.
All right. Very good. Thank you. I need a motion open to the public to speak about the Main Street Alliance, and nothing but the Main Street Alliance budget.
Offer. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Unopposed? Anybody who'd like to speak on the Main Street Alliance budget, please come forward. Seeing no members of the public, motion to close to the public.
Offer.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. With that, I appreciate your time. Thank
Thanks
you.
for joining us tonight.
Have a good night, guys.
Next on the agenda is the introduction of Jim Magan, presentation of the municipal budget hearing.
Okay. Just open to the
Just open
public.
to the public, he said.
Okay.
So, all right.
No
Anybody?
words?
The budget has been
2
presented.
words? 3 words, maybe. We're doing really well. You know, we got to cheerlead this a little. You're up.
State's approved it now? I mean,
Yeah, hold me
early.
to 2 words. Good luck with that. Tonight is the public hearing on the budget amendment. Okay, you'll recall we introduced our budget on March 26th.
Right.
Sent it down to the state. They didn't have time to approve it for our April 21st meeting. When they finally did approve it, they noticed that we had to make a change. The Municipal Alliance grant was overstated, okay? So that small change to Municipal Alliance budget, budget line triggered another public hearing. That's where we are tonight, okay? It still stands with a 0 tax increase. That hasn't changed. The total amount of the budget has gone down slightly, about $1,200, I believe, from the introduced. And tonight just calls for the public hearing. Following that, mayor and council are free to either adopt or amend. And I strongly recommend adopting.
Okay.
Excuse me, the 0 increase for 5 years, right?
Tonight's budget is no tax increase for 2019. And yes, our plan is to maintain the tax levy where we are for 5 budget years, beginning with this one. 5 years of no tax increase. That's our goal.
Okay, thank you.
Has the state approved this amended budget? Or
Yes, they
we're
have.
still waiting?
They have. Yeah. What happens is I have to send the amendment down and get it approved before you can vote on it.
Okay.
So we're good to go.
We're
then.
good
So
to
we're
go.
all set. Yeah.
Perfect, thank you.
All right.
So I need a motion to open to the public for our budget, please.
Offer.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed? Anybody from the public who'd like to speak on our budget, please come forward. Give your name to the clerk, please. You have 3 minutes.
Kathleen Salvo. I don't know if it's a monetary thing or just an oversight or just neglect, but we're policemen short and we haven't hired them. It's been said at numerous meetings that we're 20 short, that we had over 100 at one time, 120, and now I think we're at the 100 line. And is it because of money, or was it not allotted in the budget that we don't have it? Or because we're honoring all the DPW men and all their hard work, and we haven't given them a raise either? Is it because we're holding money back on that? There's not money for them, but a lot of the men have 2 jobs. They leave us and they go someplace else. And it's been said that the reason, they get paid, they should be comparable to Englewood and Teaneck, because both those 2 cities have paid fire departments, and so do we. So I don't understand why they haven't been, their pay isn't equal or the same as those 2 cities are. Also, we nickel and dime the Board of Ed. They get less than 50% on the budget, so you're trying to blame them for any of the money that's spent, but less than 48%. In a big city like this, that's unacceptable, because everybody gets more than 50%, 60%, sometimes 68%. And they have a problem. These buildings have been neglected, and they try to, you're trying to say, don't give them money so that we could save money, but are we saving money and we're spending it in other areas? And these 3 areas that I think are very important to run the city, and they seem to be neglected or left out. So I don't know how Jim is, figuring out the budget, who sits there and works on it, but it seems that we're getting some frivolous things that really aren't needed, and some important things are being neglected. So my question is it a monetary thing why these 3 things haven't been addressed, or whatever? Yes.
Please identify what you think is frivolous.
Okay, we did $90 million for an M&M building that we really didn't need. Because
Did you say 90 million?
9 million, I'm sorry, but well, it might turn out to be that by the time we get finished, because it keeps rising every time. $9 million on that. Two-way Main Street that nobody voted on, that's going to cost us a bundle, and I don't really think it's necessary since we have two-way State Street, and that accommodates the traffic very well. We're spending all this money and still going on these pilot programs, and nothing's coming in. and yet we're still giving them. They're not going to get money until they're occupied, finished and occupied, and nothing is finished yet. I mean, and then we still keep going, and then the infrastructure, we're going to need a lot of money to fix that, and that's not happening.
Being done.
You stated we're spending money on frivolous.
Yes, frivolous is $9 million.
You've identified things that you don't like, but you haven't done.
No, frivolous is a two-way Main Street. That's not really necessary.
Not true at all. The redevelopment of Main Street would not have happened without the two-way. The developer said absolutely no way would they even put a building up on Main Street unless it was two-way, so there'd be no,
I don't know who's blackmailing you to that. I never heard that, because
that was actually by a consulting firm.
Yeah,
It
like-
wasn't
like
by the
10 years
developers.
ago,
That
but
was
now
through
it's-
through the
okay.
consulting
All right,
firm.
well.
Okay, so let's talk about
Yes.
your comments about the police department that has less police officers,
Than we had.
and the DPW doesn't have a contract, and neither does
Right.
the police department.
I don't know if the police department doesn't have a contract, but the DPW hasn't gotten raises in a while.
The DPW leadership of their union has not, we've been back and forth, point counterpoint with the DPW. I don't know how many versions, we've been, probably 6 or 7 that we've been back and forth with. If I can't make the union leadership propose valid offers and we just do all the homework and we present the factual information back to them and then they say, well, we don't like that offer, I can't negotiate with somebody that is not willing to negotiate in good faith. The police department staffing, because of our disciplinary issues and some conditions, I want to make sure that we had the proper staff, because there's no point in hiring officers, then officers are either coming back into service or not judged or decided by the court, and then we lay people off. That doesn't make any sense to me. That makes zero sense to me. So these conditions that you refer to, there's a meeting next week with the leadership of the police department to go over staffing issues and scheduling. That's next Wednesday. So it's not like the city just all of a sudden, just took a little timeout nap here and is not addressing these issues. There's a continuum of things that change in the city with consistency all the time. The contract negotiations have stalled, but it's certainly from not of a lack of issue or prudence by the city to gain this. If the membership's not reasonable, I can't give away money that exceeds the for the taxpayers. In almost all municipalities, the voice of reason is a 2% raise. Some of these contract offers far exceed that. And there's no way that I can, in good conscience, award those contracts or go to the council and ask for their approval, basically approving what has been negotiated with myself and the team that negotiates these contracts. But I have to tell you that every time that anybody's ever come to that microphone from the police department and raises the issue that because we haven't hired police officers, we put the city in jeopardy, that's never happened. And I have told people this numerous occasions, please present me any documentation that proves that this police department has put officer safety in jeopardy, that we're not meeting the criteria, we're not answering these calls. There are none.
They're always very busy when you call.
Listen, they get paid to be busy.
No, but there's not enough. Years ago, when there was
All right.
20 years ago, there was 120.
We're
Now,
we're not going to do back and forth.
Okay.
It's
The one
late.
thing you
We've
have
already
to
passed
understand-
5 minutes.
Oh, well, you did it with everybody else when they were here.
And I've given you more than most of them.
Let me just finish this one thing.
Yes, thank you.
Law enforcement and technology shaves off the number of officers because we've just done is we put cameras in our parks. We're going to be able to monitor. So the officers that were required to go over and check those parks with frequency, they're going to be checking them on the desk because they can just sit there and watch them.
That's that, but the neighborhoods, they're not passing the streets. Nobody rides past. They're not doing the
But
details.
that is
And that's
not.
important.
It may be important, but there's been numerous studies through law enforcement in the history of my career and everybody
This is
else.
really off the budget. This is
No, he
supposed to be
can
budgetary.
answer.
Let me just
It is
finish
a
by
budget.
saying this much, that
You moved
flooding
to Rhode
police
Island.
officers in a municipality does not lower crime. That's the Kansas City study that was done in the 60s. So we're going to address those issues, and I thank you for your prudence, but
Next.
I have no concerns.
No, I know.
Next.
You want to negotiate, you have to give them.
Anybody else from the public would like to speak on the budget? Please come forward. Jim?
You're gonna say something.
If I could, Mayor, because Mrs. Salvo raised some very specific points, and they really do deserve to get answered. First, as Ted indicated, there is money in the police budget for more hires once we have the disciplinary issues that are settled, that are ongoing. Likewise, the DPW has been without a contract since December 31st of 2017. There was money put into the 2018 budget for that salary increase when we do settle. That money's been reserved, and there's money in the 2019 budget for when we do settle. There is money in the budget to cover both of those. The other point that she raised was about expenses such as the M&M building or the two-way conversion. And you recall when we said in 2015, when we unveiled the two-way conversion project, the M&M building project, the Sports Dome and Johnson Park project, and the Performing Arts Center.
Because of debt falling off, right?
Yeah, we had said all those capital projects were going to be done within our existing debt service budget.
Right.
And there'd be no need to raise taxes for all of those projects. And then you recall in the budget presentation that I did earlier this year, saying that mainly because of the bond sale that we did last year and the restructuring of our debt, we will be able to continue that also for the next 5 years, where the capital projects that we have coming up will also be done under the existing debt service budget. There won't be a need to raise taxes for those as well. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else on the budget, please? Seeing none, motion to close to public.
Offer.
All in favor? Aye. Next.
Okay, we'd like to thank the Hackensack DPW, it's also Police Week, and thank the police department and the officers and the DPW workers. Obviously, we had a great representation for the DPW tonight. Hackensack Food Truck Friday begins on May 31st from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Courthouse Green. Come join the food, music, and fun. This is a cooperative effort between Upper Maine Alliance and the city of Hackensack, trying to generate some interest in food trucks and more of a community-based interest in people that are either working in the city of Hackensack or come to the city of Hackensack. There will be a Battle of the Badges blood drive on June 11th from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. in our Civic Center. Come donate blood in honor of your favorite agency. New donors needed. Please refer to the hackensack.org for more details.
What was the date on that again, please?
It's June 11th from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. at the Civic Center. Police versus fire. Building department update. 182 notices written, 218 inspections made, 11 summonses issued, 13 CCOs, 22 Oprah requests fulfilled. Pothole repairs are still underway throughout the city. If you would like to report potholes, please call the pothole hotline at 201-646-8058. Number 8, citywide recycling pickup changes will become effective June 3rd. Hang tags will be provided on all existing cans. Notification will be on our website via Nixle messaging. We're going to roll out as much information to the public that we can to generate the interest so people understand what we're changing for continued twice a week pickup and all year round instead of just for the summer. We have a city shred event is scheduled for Saturday, June 15th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. in the Sears parking lot. Number 10, the City of Hackensack's 27th golf tournament is on Wednesday, June 12th. Please refer to our website for more details. And number 11, in honor of Memorial Day on Monday, May 27th at 10 a.m., the city will have a wreath laying ceremony at Veterans Park on Hudson Street. We please ask all to be respectful and attend.
You said 10 o'clock, correct?
Yes, sir. And that would complete the city manager's report.
Thank you. Patrice, while you're here, just real quick, are we reaching out to the county building for advertising in there for these food trucks? I think that might help us with that.
Jason Sohm made a phone call to his contacts at the county.
Right.
He's waiting to hear whether or not they're going to agree to post the flyer on their website.
Okay,
Beyond that, he hasn't gotten a very positive response about physically putting flyers in the
Okay.
courthouse.
all right.
That's the update.
Maybe a freeholder meeting might be good.
That
Yep.
would be great.
All right,
Anyhow, thank you.
thanks. That's it?
I'm done.
Okay, onward. Ready? Resolution 223-19.
This is a resolution for final adoption of ordinance number 22-2019, an ordinance to amend Chapter 170 of the Code of the City of Hackensack Vehicles and Traffic to add new handicap parking spaces in Section 49.2, parking for the handicap. This ordinance has been advertised pursuant to law and now calls for a public hearing.
Okay, need a motion to open to the public?
Offer.
Second.
Need a second?
Second.
Second, all in favor? Aye. None opposed? Anybody from the public who'd like to speak on ordinance 223-19, please come forward. Seeing no one from the public, motion to close to the public.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Need a motion to adopt the ordinance.
Offer.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'm
None
sorry,
opposed.
wait, who seconded?
Steve.
Dave?
Dave? Okay. Be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Hackensack County of Bergen, and State of New Jersey, that ordinance number 22-2019 has passed its second and final reading and is hereby adopted.
Thank you. Resolution 224-19.
This is a resolution for final adoption of ordinance number 23-2019, an ordinance to establish the rate of compensation for an off-duty law enforcement officer. This ordinance has been advertised pursuant to law and now calls for a public hearing.
Okay, before we open to the public, I think the city attorney would like to make...
Yes, I know Mr. Salkin at the Cow mentioned an issue related to this matter. It should not stop adoption of this ordinance tonight. I'll research the concerns he raised and if necessary.
Amend?
No, it would be a separate ordinance.
Okay.
So you can go ahead and amend
Okay.
and adopt tonight.
All right, very good. Okay,
Motion to open.
need a
to the
motion to
public.
open to the public on Resolution 224-19.
Offer.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed? Anybody from the public would like to speak on ordinance 224-19? I'm sorry, 23-2019, please come forward. Seeing no one from the public, motion to close.
Offer.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed? Motion to adopt.
Offer.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed?
Be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Hackensack County of Bergen, and State of New Jersey, that ordinance number 23-2019 has passed its second and final reading and is hereby adopted.
Thank you. Resolution 225-19.
This is a resolution for the introduction of ordinance number 24-2019, an ordinance to amend Chapter 170 of the Code of the City of Hackensack Vehicles and Traffic to add new handicap parking space in Section 49.2, parking for the handicapped.
Okay, I need a motion to introduce.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed?
Be it resolved that the above ordinance, being ordinance 24-2019, is introduced, is now passed on first reading, and that said ordinance shall be considered for final passage at a meeting to be held on June 11th, 2019, at 8:00 p.m. or as soon thereafter as the matter can be reached at the regular meeting place of the City Council, and at such time and place all persons interested be given an opportunity to be heard concerning said ordinance, and that the city clerk be and she is hereby authorized and directed to publish said ordinance according to law with a notice of its introduction and passage on first reading, and of the time and place when and where said ordinance will be further considered for final passage.
Thank you. Resolution 226-19.
This is a resolution for the introduction of capital ordinance number 25-2019, an ordinance authorizing various acquisitions, improvements to city-owned facilities and appropriating $400,000, and providing that such sum so appropriated shall be raised from the fund balance of the general capital fund of the City of Hackensack.
Need a motion to introduce.
Offer.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed?
Be it resolved that the above ordinance, being ordinance 25-2019, is introduced, is now passed on first reading, and that said ordinance shall be considered for final passage at a meeting to be held on June 11th, 2019, at 8:00 p.m. or as soon thereafter as the matter can be reached at the regular meeting place of the City Council, and at such time and place all persons interested be given an opportunity to be heard concerning said ordinance, and the city clerk be and she is hereby authorized and directed to publish said ordinance according to law with a notice of its introduction and passage on first reading, and of the time and place when and where said ordinance will be further considered for final passage.
Thank you. Resolution 227-19.
This is a resolution concurring with the Planning Board's preliminary redevelopment investigation consisting of Block 82.01, lots 27, 28, 25.02, and Block 626, Lot 1, and designating this area in the area of investigation as an area in need of redevelopment for non-condemnation purposes.
May I have a motion, please?
Offer.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed? Resolution 228-19.
This is a resolution for the introduction of ordinance number 26-2019, an ordinance adopting Green Street redevelopment plan consisting of Block 82.01, lots 25.01, 27, 28, 30.01, 30.02, and 30.03.
Need a motion to introduce?
Offer.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Be it resolved that the above ordinance being ordinance 26-2019 is introduced, is now passed on first reading, and that said ordinance shall be considered for final passage at a meeting to be held on June 11, 2019, at 8:00 p.m. or as soon thereafter as the matter can be reached at the regular meeting place of the City Council, and at such time and place all persons interested be given an opportunity to be heard concerning said ordinance, and that the city clerk be and she is hereby authorized and directed to publish said ordinance according to law with a notice of its introduction and passage on first reading, and of the time and place when and where said ordinance will be further considered for final passage.
Thank you. Resolution 229-19.
This is a resolution for the introduction of ordinance number 27-2019, an ordinance adopting Anderson Street redevelopment plan amendment consisting of Block 419, lots 18, 22, 26, and 27.
The motion to introduce, please.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Be resolved that the above ordinance being ordinance 27-2019 is introduced, is now passed on first reading, and that said ordinance shall be considered for final passage at a meeting to be held on June 11, 2019, at 8:00 p.m. or as soon thereafter as the matter can be reached at the regular meeting place of the City Council, and at such time and place all persons interested be given an opportunity to be heard concerning said ordinance, and that the city clerk be and she is hereby authorized and directed to publish said ordinance according to law, with a notice of its introduction and passage on first reading, and of the time and place when and where said ordinance will be further considered for final passage.
Thank you. Resolution 230-19.
This is a resolution adopting the Main Street Business Alliance 2019 budget.
Need a motion?
Offer.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed? Resolution 231-19.
A resolution accepting bid for private sale of certain property known as Block 432, Lot 27.03, owned by the City of Hackensack, not required for public purposes pursuant to NJSA 40A:12-13B.
Need a motion, please.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed. Resolution 232-19.
This is a resolution authorizing the adoption of the 2019 municipal budget.
Need a motion, please.
Offer.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed. You can relax now, Jim. Resolution 233-19.
It's a resolution authorizing the award of contract for engineering services, Darmafalski Engineering Associates, for Johnson Park soil remediation construction oversight.
Need a motion, please?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed. Resolution 234-19.
A resolution authorizing change order number 1 to Suburban Consulting Engineers, Inc., contract for LSRP engineering services for the DPW yard.
Need a motion, please?
Offer.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed. Resolution 235-19.
This is a resolution authorizing tax refunds for duplicate payments and state board judgments.
Need a motion, please?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed. Resolution 236-19, payment of bills.
Resolution authorizing payment of bills.
Need a motion, please?
Offer.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed. Anybody have any conflicts on the consent agenda? Seeing none, motion to read the consent agenda.
Following items are considered to be routine in nature and will be enacted in one motion. Any items requiring expenditure are supported by a certification of availability of funds. Any item requiring discussion will be removed from the consent agenda, and consent agenda items will be reflected in full in the minutes, including any exceptions and/or additions. The consent agenda consists of Resolution 237-19 through 242-19. 237-19 is a resolution recognizing National Gun Violence Awareness Day, which is June 2nd, 2019, and also known as Wear Orange Day. Resolution 238-19 is a resolution authorizing a leave of absence for Maria Tartaglione, Register of Vital Statistics, commencing on May 13th, 2019, and ending August 11th, 2019. Resolution 239-19 is a resolution authorizing award of bid contract for the 2019 Summer Food Grant Program to Revolution Foods. Resolution 240-19 is a resolution authorizing the mayor and council to sign the certification of EEOC compliance. Resolution 241-19 is a resolution authorizing building department refund in the amount of $160 for the cancellation of rooftop solar. And Resolution 242-19 is a resolution authorizing the city to retain planning services from the Department of Community Affairs, local planning services. And with that, I need a motion to accept it as
Need a
read.
motion to accept the consent agenda as read.
Offer.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed? Okay. Then a motion to open to the public, please.
Offer.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. None opposed? Anybody from the public who'd like to speak, please come forward. Give your name to the clerk. You have 3 minutes, ma'am.
Okay, my name is Bonnie Chalik. I'm a member of Moms Demand Action for Gun Sense in America and a recent resident to Hackensack. And I was very happy when I called the clerk's office to find out that you already did a resolution last year, so that really made my day. Moms Demand Action is a grassroots organization that started after the shootings at Sandy Hook Elementary School, and there are thousands of Moms Demand Action people in the state of New Jersey. We have a very strong state chapter. Over 30,000 people die each year from gun violence, and this is an important day to raise awareness of that and to honor, excuse me, with action. In particular, about 8 children die each day from gun violence, and Moms Demand Action pushes a Be Smart program for securing firearms at home. We respect the Second Amendment, but we want saner gun laws, and we want firearms to be locked up away from children, in particular at home. So I do want to thank the council very much for honoring National Gun Violence Awareness Day. And, okay.
She didn't leave. She was just...
My coworker, she wanted to say something too, but afterwards, I was wondering if we could do a quick photo.
Sure, absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
I'm a member of Brady Campaign, which also advocates for gun safety and does other promotes legislation. And I want to thank you again for keeping our community safe. It really is important.
We try. And New Jersey has some of the strictest gun rules in the country. And a matter of fact, I'm not sure if the number is correct, but I think it's about 90% of the crimes committed in New Jersey come from guns that come from south of us or from outside of the state, so which is an issue. I know Chicago's crime thing, a lot of their guns come in from Indiana, where the gun laws are a little, but yeah, it's a fine line between the Second Amendment and gun control. So I'm all in favor, especially smart guns. I think smart guns should be inputted right away, as far as a gun should know who has it in its hand. And guns can be a lot safer. Keeping unlocked guns in the house is totally ridiculous, especially if there's children there. So things like that are really no-brainers, but unfortunately there's some people out there with no brains that do it. So, glad to help you guys in whatever way we can. And we'd be glad to take a picture with you guys. Yep, thanks. You want to do a quick picture before we go forward?
Thank you so much. That's why we're wearing orange today.
That's my favorite color.
For gun violence awareness, we wear orange.
Pressed it.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Tendency to stand this way. So there's some,
Sorry.
they always
How to do that picture. Thank you. Next from the public, please.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you for listening.
That's what we're here for, Mr. Summers.
Education, good listening skills are a sign of intelligence. Well, thank you. And I realize this is the tip of the iceberg. You guys work hard before, like teaching a class, then you have this class time, then you have to follow up correcting homework and everything. So I realize you guys do a lot, and I appreciate that.
Thanks.
Just quickly, there's a lot of questions I'll still have unanswered or to talk about. But just quickly, if you're talking about numbers, we have a petition of at least 85 residents and taxpayers not to have a dog park at Side Park, to plant a forest there, green acres. That's why they call it green acres. And also, theologically speaking, if it's God's creation and we've destroyed it, it'd be nice to restore it. Forest canopy. All our Hackensack middle school students who have gone to camp, hello out there. Don and Stasha Plump ran camp when I was there. We always took students to the forest. There's a forest canopy. You're sitting in what was a forest canopy for 10,000 years. Now we have this building. For the last, whenever they bulldozed everything down, 100 feet above the ground, this was forest canopy. Hawks were here, eagles, whatever. But here we are, habitat destruction. So if we can reverse that, Mayor, that'd be great, because it would be the second park where instead of taking Paradise and putting it in a parking lot, you took a parking lot and put it in Paradise. That would be great. So, 85 signatures is really good. I don't know how many were for it. I know talking to Sam Sommerfeld, she originally wanted it to take out that old cruddy parking lot and put it there. Most people don't want it in the forest, that's for sure. Hopefully you won't repave that parking lot. I'd like to see a forest there. It would be ecologically a shame to do that when we have this great opportunity. So as a dog lover, having had 3 dogs while I was here in Hackensack, I just lost my beautiful black lab in December, Murphy. Followed the dog whisperer, Cesar Milan, and basically you walk your dog. You're the pack leader, your dog is a pack member. That's what they want, that's what you want. Dog parks are not good. They're a canine cesspool, essentially. And in the forest, that material would leak ultimately down to Coles Brook. Coles Brook, as Mary Walsh wrote in her letter, everyone has a letter, right?
I do.
Before she left for vacation, she gave me a letter to give to everyone. And hopefully you have a copy of that. Basically, she said the New Jersey statute for Category 1 stream says within 50 feet, you can't do anything bad. How that parking lot got there, how dirty snow can be put there, I don't know. There's a conduit to the stream right from that parking lot. Not good.
Mr.
So-
Summers, we're running late and you're at your 3 minutes, so I'm gonna have to ask you
Okay.
to bag it though.
And
Thank
I-
you.
I did submit a site map that you can look at.
And leave it with Ted.
Leave it with Ted?
You already have it.
Oh, that one, okay, yes. All right, thought it was something else.
This may be slightly different.
Okay.
But basically the same idea, where we were today. If we can
Thank you.
put clean fill and topsoil down and make a forest to our children's children. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm glad to see Mrs. Canestrino left and Mrs. Canestrino's back. Richard Salk in Hackensack. I'm a great believer in redemption and education at all ages and all levels. And contrary to your statement, Mrs. Canestrino, at the May 7th meeting, no one is listening to your statement. I was listening to your statement very carefully, and I need to comment on it. I have some documents that I'm going to You're not a gopher, but you're the closest, and I'll give them to you. First, I'll describe what they are. This is the 1996 agreement between the City of Hackensack and the Medical Center. It's 8 pages substantively long. Of that, more than 3 pages are devoted to, keeping that property, the improvement, from ever going to a nonprofit status for the 43 years from the approval of that developer's agreement. I don't know that you've ever looked at this. You really need to.
I have.
The second document, just pages from the 2018 agreement, your baby. And the whereas, Block 236, Lot 102, 1.02, 20 Prospect. Whereas HUMC owns certain taxable properties. Jumping ahead to page 12, HUMC and the city hereby agree the following properties shall be deemed to be taxable. Again, 20 Prospect. This is the last appraisal that was done on the property by McNerney, the city's appraiser, and it came in at $137,525,000. You stated that the reason you engaged in the 2016 attempted agreement that the court set aside in the Nunemacher case was for risk mitigation, risk management. And I say to you, there is no risk. There is no way that that property until 2039 will ever be deemed non-taxable. It's just not going to happen. So it's nonsense. 2016 was a very bad decision. Were there to be a tax appeal on the valuation, I don't know why you're saying it could be as low as 3.4. It could be as low as 0. First, that's out of the question. To get down to the $3.4 million level from the $137 million, it would have to be reduced to $99 million. It's not going to happen. You can't approach this governing by fear-mongering. The other thing is this, finally.
Rick,
I'll finish up. I have just a few more
Make it quick,
remarks.
please.
I will. What you said is very disturbing, because you said they, the medical center, have an excellent case to present to the position of exemption. You have essentially handed the medical center with what your attorney could describe to you as an admission against the city in any litigation. I would ask you to choose your words carefully. The 2018 agreement is now a good one. You should take great pride in it, because you got rid of the poison pill, or the court got rid of it for you.
It's done.
All right, we're done, Mr. Salkin. Thank you.
I'll just add my comment. I'll try and be very brief because it is a late hour. You know, at this point in time, I stand by the words that I used at the prior meeting. The medical center had filed for a full tax exemption prior to this agreement. The courts will decide. Rich, you may have your opinion. We have other attorneys that have other opinions. If they choose to file for a full exemption, a partial exemption, the courts will make that determination. That was the basis of my statement. And we'll just have to wait and see what happens. None of us can predict the future, not myself, not yourself. It was a true risk mitigation because there is the opportunity for a tax exemption or a partial tax exemption or a tax appeal to come into play here. And that monies can vary. Full exemption, they pay 0 tax. And it can go anywhere between that 0 to 4.3. We'll just have to wait and see how it plays out. Thank you.
Thank you. Next,
person.
please.
I'm here for another reason. My name is Roz Altman, and I'm very happy that you instituted the garden committee because I joined it.
Oh, good.
I'm really excited because
Good.
I think we can really probably promote environmental education and have a place for maybe people in our community that don't have any place to plant healthy vegetables or pretty flowers. So I'm going to make it I hope to be part of it and some planting myself and educate those in our community about the environment and eating healthily. So thank you very much for starting that.
Oh, our pleasure. And thanks to the Environmental Commission for putting that together, because they've done a great job with it. It's great to have a community garden again. Thanks. Yep. Next. Hey, Chris.
Coley,
How are you?
Prospect Ave. It's not a criticism, it's just a question. A while ago, Fort Lee had a fire, and one of the firemen made a statement, he was cut short, that they didn't have sufficient supply of water coming into the town. Now, I was here when the Hackensack Water had to put new water lines on Prospect Ave because the high-rises couldn't get water. Since we've been building all these new buildings, I'm wondering if we have a sufficient supply of water coming in to service all these buildings? Or are we gonna have where on high-rise, the water went up only to the third floor?
That's good questions, great question. It is being monitored. As a matter of
And I
fact,
have an answer.
and Hackensack University Medical Center at this time with their project is adding water. So go ahead, sir.
The city of Hackensack had a meeting with our fire department, Albert Dibb, our project managers, to review fire suppression and the necessity of having proper pressure for fire. And obviously, if we increase the pressure or volume of water for fire suppression, it'll also help the residents because there'll be more pressure. That's under review as we currently speak. We are going to in place these requirements as part of the application going forward to make sure that we have ample water for our residents for their own personal uses, but also for fire. And we just had that meeting, Albert, what was that? 2 days ago. 2 days ago. So we're on it.
Another thing, a project like 150, 170, which is 14 stories, I believe that building would be required to have a fire pump.
Oh, yeah.
Because of the elevation. You wouldn't have the pressure at the top, so you would have to, I believe. I know most large buildings like that require it. Sir, how are you?
I'm Rich Serbo, Spring Valley Avenue, Hackensack. I want to welcome everyone on video all over the state of New Jersey. Welcome. Look, I just want to bring up something that maybe is addressed on a national level much more. I know we discuss all our local things here, and it's very good. We need to do that too. But on a national level, immigration is so in the news, it's constant. And look, this is a modern Rome that we live in here in America. This is Rome in modern times. It's a nation of assimilation, okay? And in the same vein that we brought up a sort of a proclamation at our last meeting, and I addressed Mr. Kleinman about the whole idea of removing hate somehow, and he agreed that, you know, a council can get behind a good idea and put it forward. So in that same vein, I'm just asking, maybe we should get behind assimilation instead of this belligerent kind of diversity that's developing. It's not only here in Hackensack, but it does filter down here into Hackensack. It's a national type of problem, and I just want to bring up, maybe the council should get behind that kind of proclamation. I understand the thing about hate. I think it came from Teaneck somehow. There was a problem with diversity there somehow. And so let's get behind assimilation, which is purely American. We need to be that nation. And I don't know. Oliver Wendell Holmes was behind the idea of a modern Rome here. So please, can we kind of stop separating people into groups, or this group and that group and this group, and maybe all the groups we can address as one, and maybe they should understand what assimilation is
Mr. Kleinman, I would love to hear your,
Certainly,
But maybe-
if the council wishes me to draft an ordinance or a resolution, I act at their direction. So I have no comment on
Okay,
the propriety or impropriety of something like that.
I think it's a great idea. I think we're going down the wrong road with this whole diversity thing, not only on a local level, but on many different levels, on the state level, on the national level.
Well, it starts, if it's immigration, it starts on a national level.
Well, it starts right in your backyard, too. Okay.
Depending on where they move, you're right.
Okay, so please, maybe the council could get behind.
We do what's considered here, warm and, you're fair and welcoming.
Yes,
To all
absolutely.
citizens here, or to all, not citizens, to all people here. We don't go around asking people, are you here legally or not? That's not what we do here.
No, it's not about that. It's about assimilation, which is sort of being put on the back burner.
Well, assimilation was brought
forget
up.
about that.
Assimilation was brought up by Theodore Roosevelt during his tenure as president, and it was very important for him that all people that came here from other countries with their cultures still assimilated to become Americans.
Exactly.
And I think that holds true today. They should.
Okay, I just wish we would speak out for it on a local level also. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next.
Regina De Pasqua. I had asked earlier, I'll wait for the answer this time, how much you're planning on spending the budget for the M&M furnishings. Also, I hope that PSE&G will not be getting preferential treatment anymore and letting their vans park on the streets. Residents don't get that treatment. Residents aren't allowed to do it. A plumber or whatever that really does go to an emergency isn't allowed to do it. Commercial vehicles are not allowed to park on the streets. I hope you will, stop giving the big guys the preferential treatment.
Well, let her speak, because I want to
give it
speak to that too, but, and
Yeah.
I agree with you on some of it, but I want to tell you what's probably going to happen to us. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, the residents, we're treated like a commodity in the produce aisle, the mushrooms.
I received many tickets when I had a commercial truck, so go ahead. I hear you. I don't
But
want to
no,
take your
but
time.
no, the residents, you make money off us. If I park on a street cleaning day, I get a ticket, which I don't do. But, residents, we get to pay the bills. We get to pay the bills, and the big guys get discounts on the bills. Now, you can stand by your words regarding, the hospital, but repeating a lie doesn't make it true. They mentioned a tax exemption in a lawsuit, and the city flinched. They never filed. They never filed
We had a
for
copy of
an
it.
exemption.
We had a copy.
No, the paperwork isn't filed.
I can show you the copy.
They mentioned it in a lawsuit. They have not filed the proper paperwork for an exemption, and they're out of time from 2017. They're out of time.
Talking when the settlement agreement, at that point in
Excuse
time,
me,
it was
don't.
filed.
Okay.
My time,
I'm not
my
to
time.
correct.
Don't tell me I'm out of time then, okay? You can keep repeating a lie. It doesn't make it true. Facts are facts. The judge saw the facts. The big guys are getting preferential treatment, and the residents are getting the bill. Residents are complaining about PSE&G vans parked in their neighborhood where they can't get to park commercial vehicles, and they're told, because they're important. They're not. They're not that important. They made themselves to be more important than they are. Residents are treated like a commodity in the produce aisle. The mushrooms. You feed us and keep us in the dark. I'm done, except for Stigma Free is sponsoring Seen and Heard on June 7th. The Hackensack High School Drama Club is putting on 2 plays with mental health as the theme. It's $5 admission that goes to the drama club, and there will be resources there, mental health
Thank you.
outreach resources. Okay.
Thank you.
You can speak now.
What I want to, I gotta tell you, I probably agree with you 95% on these vehicles not being emergency vehicles. But that said, here's what I think we should do, and we'll put it in somebody else's hands. Ticking them. Public Service is gonna take it to court, be there at court. Rick's probably gonna agree with me on this one. And we'll see what the judge rules. If the judge rules, yeah, he can't park there, we're good. If he says no, we're not good. That's what's gonna happen, and that's the best way, fastest, easiest way to solve it. Ticket one.
Enforce the ordinance.
Enforce the ordinance, see what Public Service does. The judge, which I got a funny feeling is gonna say, nah, it's an emergency vehicle, because that's, Public Service is pretty big. But I'm hoping that doesn't happen.
Because they're big. Again, you just proved my point. Because
No,
they're
I'm
big.
saying, I said the judge,
No, you said
because
because
the judge,
PSAG is big.
because they're big, and he could determine that, yes, it is an emergency
And the
vehicle.
little guy gets to pay the bill.
No. I was one of those little guys, because I
Right.
was in emergency
But
service.
you're not anymore. You're a big guy
But
now.
there are utilities out there, and that's condescending. I'm not trying to be condescending.
You're
I'm one of
saying
those
you
guys.
were one of the little guys.
No,
Anyway.
compared to public service, yeah, I was a sole proprietor. I guess that's small compared to public service, unless you think that's equal.
Well, no, public service shouldn't get away with it because they're big.
I'm not saying they
The
should, Mr.
hospital
Tabasco.
shouldn't
Matter
get
of fact,
away with it
if you
'cause
listen to
they're
my
big.
statement, which I made, I said I'm 95% in agreement with you
But you're
that they're
saying the
probably
judge is
not
gonna
being
let
used
them
for emergency
go.
service. My guess is the judge isn't going to feel like I feel. But that's it.
Okay. You're
Thank
going to
you.
enforce the ordinance.
Did you have anything you wanted to add to that, sir? I know you wanted to say something.
You have asked now on 2 occasions tonight what we're going to spend on furniture. I don't know.
Oh, it's a blank check. Great.
No,
Don't know.
Please.
Okay.
Do I put words in your mouth? I didn't
Yeah,
say
you do.
that. I did? How did I do
People
that?
do here all the
No, no.
time.
Let me finish.
Anyway, Ted, I don't want to argue with you.
Please.
You don't know.
You had your time. You asked for a response. You're going to get mine. Please be respectful. I don't interrupt you. I don't know why you think you can get away with it with me.
Because I can.
Okay, then I guess you're not interested in an answer.
You don't know. I got the answer.
No,
You
no,
don't know.
no. You didn't let me finish. The city will
scales
pursue
adjusted.
state contract, which is the lowest cost the city can get unless it goes out to bid. Once we determine the needs of the furniture, we will purchase that. I won't spend any more money than I need to. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, please. Sorry.
Mike?
Gail Wells, 160 Overlook. I'd like to apologize to the city clerk. Last time I was here, Deputy Mayor, you had said to me, sometimes neighborhoods change, and it may not be what we like, it may not be a change that we want. I see a lot of neighborhoods changing here, and I'm so jealous of foundations and trees and landscaping that all of these new projects are, I don't know if they're required to put in, but the property developer probably also wants it, because I think your property, to a large degree, is a reflection of you, the property owner. I won't ask you to look at this now, but when you get a chance, the picture on the front is the current view that we get to see standing from our vestibule. And then the second page is what it looked like when I moved in. And then the third page is property maintenance, something that I found in the paper, and I don't know if you can pass that along to property maintenance or if it's something that I should do, but property maintenance needs to come over and at least take a look. Raise your hand if you can see a porta-john from your vestibule. They have a porta-john that is out there and exposed for anybody who's passing by to see. Somebody's got to take a look at what's going on over there. Thank you.
I'm sorry, Ms. Wells, do you know if there's construction going on, the need for that?
No.
Or what is the reason
No.
for it?
The reason for the porta-john is because there is a security guard. And based on where that security guard is based, for him to go into the building to use the facilities, I guess is too far. That porta-john has been there. I've noticed it ever since, if you look at page 2, when they cleaned out all that overgrown shrubbery, that's when I noticed it. And everybody said, just keep your mouth shut, you want quiet, so don't focus on how it looks. But I mean, I'm driving around and I'm seeing all of these breathtaking, beautiful places. And I'm like, just go to Home Depot, buy a dozen and a half of arborvitaes, plant, I mean, it's not, I'm not saying I don't get enough afternoon sun and I want you to remove the top 4 floors of your building. I'm just saying, have a little respect for the community that you
I don't disagree with you on that.
Thank you.
The back of that building is not attractive.
Thank you. So, look at it,
It is a
come up. If
garage,
you
but
ever want to come.
You shouldn't have to look at a portage on every
Thank you.
committee.
I agree.
So can we, property maintenance should address that.
Thank you.
That should not be visible to the public unless it's for a temporary reason during construction or
Absolutely.
construction project.
Totally agree. And my invitation stands if anybody ever wants to come to my apartment to listen to what I hear. Again, I don't know what anybody's hearing is, so, it's not.
You don't want my hearing.
Thank you.
Progress. Okay, Kathleen Salvo again. Okay, I like that nice fat check that was delivered by the county. I think that's great, and I think it's, a lot of our parks need improvement, and Leo knows since we were on Recreation Board together that a lot of the stuff hasn't been touched since we left. I do monitor all the parks regularly for lighting and stuff, and I do work with the DPW and mention anything that has to be done. I'm here again to talk about the 2 basketball courts that I mentioned 3 years in a row that haven't been addressed yet. I was there yesterday, and I made some sarcastic remark that they don't even have nets, which these 2 people thought it was fact. But I did get you to go look at those 2 courts, and the one in Columbus Park, which is the 1st ward, the one in Polified, which is the 2nd ward. These are our kids also. They can't play basketball in either one of them. They just flood. Yesterday I was there. There was 3 puddles on the court. They don't go away because they're puddles. You have to sweep them, and the kids don't have brooms. There's a big area to the side that was supposed to be addressed way back when Wayne came to us, that the mosquitoes are going to lay their eggs against this summer. We have a parks program scheduled there come the summer, and these kids are going to stand in place and just throw it in one basket. And I agree with you all that they need exercise because they're overweight, but it rained a whole bunch of times last year, and all they could do was stand at that one basketball, throw the basket, catch it, and I was a basketball player. You're supposed to run across the court. Then I see these people coming in for a garden, which I love, and they get priority, and the earth comes from wherever, and they have their garden. 1994, the last time these two locations were touched, and nobody's doing anything. But all the other stuff that's come, what's his name, comes and yells at why aren't they doing anything, and he magically gets the dirt, spend money on looking to see if the greenhouse should be done or not, spending money with engineers on that. When these 2 things, these parks haven't been addressed. Major flooding in Polyfi, there's something coming from the top. We were there the other day, and everything is soggy. So it needs to be really addressed to see if it's coming from the school or not. But we couldn't do a half wall so the water doesn't come on the park. So this, what is it, $100,000? I think the priority should, Stibe needs a lot of stuff. My question is, does it have to go to the dog park in Stibe Park, or can we relocate the dog park someplace else?
I think we can relocate.
We can, because Gary's idea was excellent, to put it in Johnson Park. That was originally a skating ring. When one of the mayors were here, the people were shotgunning it and playing soccer from out of town. So he had the walkway put there so that they couldn't do that. He made it the walkway continue there and then go to continue on along the river. And that's what we did. I forgot who it was, but I remember that's what we did, to make the people from out of town play soccer there. But that would be an ideal place for it. Walking, again, would be limited, but it is limited in that park. So that's what I'm asking you to do. One more thing. The judge needs to be given head up, whoever the prosecutor is, to tell him, yes, there are trucks that do certain things, but this...
I say let them enforce it and see what
But
happens.
somebody has to tell the judge that he can't go and say it's emergency, because those worry-free people are not emergency.
The official can do is go tell a judge what to do.
No, but the prosecutor has to know the story behind that. So, waiting for this to happen since 1994. The papers are yellow. These are the original prints that I was involved with when it happened. And the program starts in...
We're working on it. We'll make sure they're sprayed for mosquitoes as well.
And we need to get that done, because these kids can't use the park at all. Thank you.
But I want to note that she did mention 1994, and I think we've done a lot of work on parks. I know we're not there yet, but we're getting there. We've done a tremendous work on parks.
Didn't he already speak?
Chris, you can't come back up. Just, I'm sorry, it breaks protocol. Just grab me after the meeting, and I'll be glad to help you. You don't get two shots. Do you want to come up, sir? Come on.
Yes, good evening.
Yes.
Yes, I live in 105 Meadow Street.
Could you give your name to?
My name is Paul Davila. I live in 105 Meadow Street in Hackensack.
Okay.
It's between River
It's
Street
that
and
little
Hackensack.
street, right?
Yeah, Little Street.
Right.
It's the dead end.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've been living there for around 21, 22 years. And then I have a garage in front of the house, which is two doors garage. Well, the street has been not really cared by the city because I've been cleaning out the city for all these years, cutting the grass, picking out the garbage, or whatever it is, whatever the homeless going through, people living in the street, even abandoned cars and stolen cars. But recently, the parking is becoming more difficult because in Hackensack also is becoming more congested with the traffic. I have 5 kids, and of course I have vehicles, my own, and I want to park. You might say, okay, it's the public parking. Yeah, it's the public parking. It's the commercial area.
Mm-hmm.
But recently, of course, the people around the neighborhood is finding out that this free parking means you can park anytime, even in commercial vehicles coming in park. And sometimes they live in the car for 1 week, 2 weeks, even 3 months, 2 months, 3 months, which I feel unfair because sometimes I'm not even parking for myself.
Well, the commercial vehicles aren't, not supposed to be parked on the street, I believe.
And then I've been calling the police, of course, to tell them that I need a parking at least in front of my garage. And then one police, well, he took action. He gave a ticket to one of the vehicles just recently. The other police came. I called again. He said he cannot do nothing because the vehicle is parking legally. That wasn't a commercial vehicle, it was a regular vehicle. But the car is parking in front of the garage, which means I can not put the car in, I cannot take the car in.
Blocking the driveway?
It's a parking and driveway.
That's not legal.
But
It's not legal.
But the signs, when I came to Hackensack, when I came to that little house, the signs were in front of the garage, across the street. Now, when I don't remember how long after, they moved the signs next to the garage, just close to the door. So the police said, well, I can't give you the ticket because, I can't tell him to move, whatever, because it's legally parking. It's not parking in front of your garage. So there's no distance for me to get in and out. So you know what I mean? There's a problem there, but the police don't want to do nothing.
This man's going to give you his card. You're going to give him a call.
You call me, I'll take it.
All right? And he's going to help you with this situation.
Also,
All right?
there's not the winter, we're just getting to the summer. I call on the city to clean out the snow. They never came to clean the snow. I've been cleaning out myself. Lucky I have a guy who's a neighborhood. He has a construction company, which
Just
is
a plow.
there. He moves from there. He's not there anymore. He was cleaning up for me. So later on, I could buy a snow blower. So I clean it out myself.
Write a list of all the issues you have, the snow removal, the parking, commercial vehicles. Give it to the city manager and let him have at it.
Yeah, and also there's some holes on the street already because the winter was a little bit severe, and it's getting big holes.
I know Meadows, I know the street. I could see it's a small little street where it's probably
Also,
being
it's
neglected. and
Some of the wires hanging from the electricity.
That you'd have to call public service.
Yeah.
We don't deal with that.
You're not dealing with that, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Call public service. They tell them it's an emergency, there's low wires, they should get out there pretty quick.
All right, sir.
All right?
It's not, just question. There's not any possibility to put a signs in front of my garage?
He will do it.
He will do it.
He's gonna deal with it. He can't park in your
Come on,
driveway.
see.
Thank you.
No problem, sir.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Just call me.
Appreciate it.
You got the address, right?
I do.
15 Meadow Street.
105 Meadow.
Oh, 105? I forgot the zero. My bad.
Thank you. Have a good night.
You too.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Anyone else from the public?
What is that?
Motion to close to the public?
Offer.
All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed? Councilwoman Von Rudenberg.
Just want to thank everyone again for coming out regarding the Stide Park project. A special thanks to the city manager, our DPW, our CFO, our clerks for putting in all the time for arranging those, on-site meetings and town hall meetings. Those were, extra things that I think are important to make sure everyone's involved. And again, this is, a team effort, and I think it just shows that, we want the community input and we take everything into consideration. And that's how it should be, working together to find a good solution. Congratulations to DPW. They really are a great group of workers. I have to say, Fred and Joe, I think I work with them more than any other department on the different projects, and they really are a dedicated group. They do a wonderful job. A special thanks to Andy, who's always here at our meetings and does a great job of helping us out with everything. So thanks, Andy, if you're over there. Mental Health Month, thanks to Paul Nichols and our Stigma-Free Committee. They do a wonderful job of getting the message out there and hosting different events. So if you could go out to that play at the high school to support the Stigma-Free Committee, definitely do that. Happy to have a food truck festival going on, not a festival, but an event on the green, and we'll see how that goes. And, thanks for the Upper Main Alliance for helping out with that, and see, hopefully it leads to other events down the road, but we'll try it out and hope that the workers during the day by the green will benefit from it. The annual baseball tournament, Memorial Day tournament, will be at Fashini this weekend, so come on out and see a few good games from teams across the county and come support Hackensack baseball. Thanks to the moms from Moms to Ban. It's nice to hear that there can be some kind of discussion where you can support the Second Amendment, but also understand the need for some, gun safety and control. I grew up in a house, a hunting house, where we grew up with guns, but we knew to respect them, and, they're firearms, and you lock them up and they're not toys. And there's a happy medium. If you grow up respecting guns and respecting the Second Amendment, you know the importance of firearms, and it doesn't have to be one extreme to the next. So thanks for coming out to the two women that came out. The community garden's up and running. Definitely, I think maybe we should try to do some kind of grand opening for it if we can.
Do some what?
Like a grand opening for the community garden. Maybe have people come down and see it, and some kind of event. Thanks to Gary and the Environmental Commission. They really put a lot of time and energy into that project, and it looks good. So maybe we could do something down the road. And that's it. Oh, thanks to our military too. Thank you. Have a good night.
Thanks, Steph. I'd also like to say we had a number of proclamations and presentations. We had appropriately Kids to Parks Day, and we had a lot of discussion tonight about different parks, and not only parks, but performing recreation and being active in our soon-to-be-opened M&M building. Also nice to honor Paul for his work with mental health, raising mental health awareness through Stigma-Free. And again to Doug, who's usually attends our meetings, for his support and honoring him as part of Military Month as well. And of course, thanks to our DPW workers. I mean, I think the town is looking cleaner and better than ever. And I know personally, I've been getting lots of positive comments. You can see that everyone's proud of the work they're doing, and it shows throughout the city. They did do a lot of work in supporting the community garden. I mean, they got that thing up 1, 2, 3. I know we had some residents that did a lot of work down there as well, and thanks to them. I think someone was down there planting already. I saw some pictures, I saw some photos. So people around, now's the time to plant. We just put in our vegetable garden in our backyard, so I think now's the time to do it. So if it's out there in TV land, you can stop here at the City Hall and Recreation and rent yourself a plot and be part of it and enjoy it as well. Of course, thanks to Jim for all his hard work on the budget, and Leo, my partner in the Finance Committee. I think it's wonderful that we see a 0% increase in our municipal side of the tax levy, and promises to try and set that goal for the next 4 years as well. Kudos to all department heads and everyone that supported Jim in that as well. A couple of things tonight on the agenda. The capital ordinance, I think very worthwhile to notice, we're doing some technology updates, very important. We're updating, for some city hall employees, for the police department, communications, and also doing some small upgrades and some equipment purchases as well. So, it's good to go through, and we thank Ted and we thank Jim as well for going through and supporting our departments in that way. Even if it's some things that are relatively small, they're still important, and it's worthwhile for us to continue to do those upgrades. I always like to speak, if there's anything on here in the redevelopment arena. Actually, the two projects that are talked about tonight, both are centered around train stations, different train stations, one Anderson Street and one Essex Street, but important nonetheless. Up until now, we've been having our focus primarily in the rehabilitation area of our downtown, and we've now also incorporated shifting that a little bit to get some development right on, really almost right on our train stations. And one of those is on Green Street, where we're looking to see, working with a developer that's looking to put 210 units there. And at Anderson Street, a proposal's come forward for a 222 units there as well. So again, both of those very exciting, certainly looking to support the commuters and folks that are looking to get into the city. And, great news, more positive things, more positive growth for the city. Memorial Day's coming up. So as usual, we will have our Memorial Day recognition at Veterans Park. That's the small park on Hudson Street, 10 o'clock in the morning on Veterans Day. We'll be there. We hope to see those of you come out again and pay tribute to those who have done so much to provide the wonderful lives that we do have here in our country. Thanks everyone for coming out. Have a good night. We'll see you again soon.
You, David?
I sit here with a heavy heart tonight, right before the dog park walked through. I got a phone call that my sister-in-law had a massive heart attack and passed away. So please keep the family in prayer. I want to thank Doug. Congratulations on being recognized by the city of Hackensack for Military Month. I know he's not here. Usually he sits with Mr. Servos, sitting right now, but Doug, we salute you. DPW, I will put my DPW against anybody or any other DPW in Bergen County. They do a great work, and Joe and Glima and Fred, I give you kudos on how you got these guys on point. Jim, great job on the budget with no tax increase for this year. That was our goal when we first started, and thank you for seeing it come through. I want to thank the county for the $100,000 check that they presented to the city of Hackensack for the open space. As Stephanie said, this week is our annual Memorial Day baseball tournament. Mount Olive today hosted the 43rd show-off anniversary for the prom. Outstanding. It's just speechless. Last but not least, I want to thank Kathy Salvo for her continued support for our new recreation center that's going to open up next month. And if anybody sees Kathy Salvo, please thank her.
She's right there.
Oh, she's right here? Oh, she was in Lodi.
Thank you, Kathy. Good night.
Oh, you're afraid, man.
Thank you to the county and Freeholder Ortiz to deliver the $100,000 check to help us to try to improve our parks and everything else. There's no question that our DPW guys are doing a wonderful job. Anybody can see that the city looks better, clean. Thank you, Jean, for your work with the budget. You always make miracles with the numbers. And I think maybe next month we're gonna start the paving program, right? Right now I got a list of the streets that they're gonna maybe be done in the next 2 months maybe. And I spoke to Jean and the city manager today as for see if we can get some money to try to spend the program. And that way we can improve the streets like Elm and South Prosper and many streets that really need some work. Over the weekend, I got one phone call and the other one showed up in person. Two of the kids that played soccer for me when they used to be little kids, they got a scholarship. One, I think, is now in the. No, one is in the hospital. Remember that the mother spoke to you to try to get like Steve gave me the news that he got a scholarship to go to Boston.
Nice.
He want to be a doctor, and he got a $72,000 a year scholarship. So they're gonna pay for everything. And the other guy is Santi, that he lives in Pink Street. He gonna go to NJIT, a full scholarship.
Good for him.
And I got another kid that he don't live in Hackensack, but I used to be in the same group. He got a scholarship in Connecticut, full ride. And that's the type of stuff that we do here with the sports to try to help the kids, to try to push them. They have to go to school, and that way they can have a decent life when they're gonna have their own families. And that one of the reasons we push this sport facility, because by having the facility, we can be with the kids and we can help them to try to do better in life. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. A lot of my stuff is going to be repetitive. Congrats, Jim, Kathy, Ted, Leo, on the budget. Great job. Hopefully we can maintain that 5-year plan. I'm looking forward to it. Had that on-site meeting at the dog park today. It was very interesting. You know, it's gone full circle. It's funny that even the woman that proposed the dog park at Sty Park came out against it today. So that's what we sit here as council members and deal with. We listened to the first group that came out in favor of it. Seemed like a good idea. Let's check it out. We move forward. And, you know, we're getting some pushback. And that's what good government is. When you listen to the people, you know, and there's times we don't listen to people. I brought up the lawyers before by Atlantic Street Park. We basically told them, no, this is going to be a park. They were against it. Put up a beautiful park. They love it. They came, said they loved it. Same with the art center. But, you know, the fate of the dog park will be determined, moving it, not doing anything. We'll see what's going to happen there. I want to mention our Congressman, Josh Gottheimer. Met with him last week. Gave me about an hour time, which is a lot for a congressman, as busy as they are. And I give him a lot of credit because he kind of plays the middle. He works on both sides of the aisle. He's on a group of works with a group of Congress people that actually do that. They work nonpartisan, which I think is really the way it should be. You know, the way Congress is right now, it's this and this, and it's very few people stay in the middle and try to work and actually get some work done. But Josh has been doing that, and he's very good at doing it in his own district. Yesterday, I wasn't able to make it. I was unfortunately so busy at work I couldn't get over there. But he was up in Oradell and had a press conference about the money that he's clawed back from the federal government back into city municipalities in different ways. And Hackensack led the way. We were number one, receiving the most money since 2016. We've recouped nearly $2 million in money from the federal government in different ways, grants, equipment, stuff like that. Small ways to try to get money back, but he's done a great job with that, and I want to thank him personally for that, publicly for that. And I know Deputy Mayor Canestrino emailed him as well as myself. He's also helping us with the fight with the FAA. He stepped up to that right away when I mentioned it to him, and he's also going to be looking into helping us with our liquor license permits and some other issues in town. So that's huge to have a congressman, you know, take your back and try to help you out. DPW, great job. They really have stepped up. The city does look good. There's, you know, so many changes, and we will continue to improve, and looking forward to working together with those guys. Special thanks to freeholder Jermaine Ortiz, who came down, who was very sick and came down and presented a check for $100,000 to us in the form of a grant for our parks. That was great. And of course, our regular, who was irregularly not here tonight, Doug Lowry, captain, retired U.S. Army, congratulations on receiving that proclamation. You deserve it, buddy. And with that, I want to wish everybody a safe trip home. See you. Oh, we got to go back inside.
Can I say one more thing?
Sure, go
Can I
ahead.
say one more thing? You reminded me, how could I forget about airplane noise? And I
Yeah.
did for the moment. I guess I was preoccupied with some other things on my mind. Please, everyone, remember, it's so important to make those phone calls.
Yes.
If you see something, say something. The noise number is 201-288-8828. You call up. First time you call, you have to give your name and address information. Other times, you just call, give your last name, and they know who you are. Main things they want to know, it's too loud, it's too low, it's both loud and low, but too frequent. So that's really all you have to say. We need to raise awareness that in Hackensack, we are still really, really suffering from the volume of aircraft and the noise and the pollution that those aircraft are doing. to our
Sunday,
city.
this Sunday was
Oh, horrible.
just ridiculous.
Horrible.
I mean,
Horrible. I know, I saw,
I
Albert,
wish,
you
I wish
had
you
a
lived there.
picture
You two
of
were
it.
dealing with. You're up in no man's land.
It's been really, really, really not well.
Enjoy your hour ride home, though, buddy.
Oh, thanks for reminding me.
Okay.
I mean-
Need a motion to go back into,
I just want to, last thing, the Splash Park opens up this weekend, Memorial Day weekend, from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. and every weekend up until the end of June, and then there, after that, for the summer months, July and August, it'll be open up every day from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m.
we'll make sure that's on the website as well.
And is that the Power Fly Park too?
Both of them.
Both of them.
Yeah.
Yep. Now I need a motion to close the council meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye?